My friend William hadn't left his house in 11 days, and it wasn't because of his back, it wasn't because of a cold, it was something he couldn't bring himself to say out loud for almost a year. William is 67, retired engineer, the kind of man who built things with his hands, never complained, never asked for help. But something had been happening inside his body that was slowly stealing his life. His gut had shut down, not partially, almost completely. He'd go 4, 5, sometimes 6 days without a normal bowel movement. The bloating was so bad he couldn't button his pants. The cramps would wake him at night. He tried the fiber powders, tried the over-the-counter laxatives. They'd work once, then nothing for a week. He told me he felt like his body was full of concrete. One Saturday I brought over a friend of mine, retired doctor, 81 years old, still walks 2 miles every morning, still reads medical journals for fun. I told him about William, everything. He didn't hesitate. He said, "Tonight, before you go to bed, take 3 dried dates, drop them in a glass of room temperature water, let them sit overnight. In the morning, eat the dates first, then drink every drop of that water. Empty stomach, don't eat anything else for 30 minutes. William looked at me like we were playing a joke on him. Dates, that's it, dates. He tried it anyway. He had nothing left to lose. Day 3, he called me. His voice was different, lighter. He said, "Something happened this morning that hasn't happened in months. My body remembered how to work. That night I sat down and started reading, and I didn't stop until 4 in the morning. Because what I found about soaked dates wasn't just about digestion. It went so much deeper than that. This simple remedy touches 13 different problems that hit hardest after 60, and I ranked every single one of them. And I'll be honest with you, some of what I found I didn't want to believe, because if it's this simple, why isn't every doctor in America talking about it? I still don't have a great answer for that, but the research is there, and I'm going to walk you through it piece by piece. Now, before we get into the first problem, you need to understand something most people miss entirely. There's a difference between eating a date and eating a soaked date. A big difference. When you soak dates in water overnight, the water pulls out magnesium and other active compounds from inside the fruit. A published review confirmed that date syrup, the liquid created from soaking, works more effectively as a laxative than the fruit alone. The researchers believe it's because the magnesium gets released into the water and becomes easier for your body to absorb. Dates themselves are ancient, 6,000 years old, mentioned in almost every religious text and medical tradition on Earth. 4 dates give you 23% of your daily potassium, 40% of your copper, 15% of your magnesium, 17% of your B6, and 7 grams of fiber. That's not a snack, that's a medicine cabinet disguised as a fruit. And the glycemic index? Just 42. Lower than most breakfast cereals, lower than white bread, lower than rice. That matters, and I'll explain why when we get to blood sugar. The first problem isn't part of the countdown. It's too important to wait. Let's start right here. Start chronic constipation, outside countdown, delivered first. I know, nobody wants to hear about it. Nobody wants to talk about it at dinner. But if you're over 60 and you're dealing with it, you know it affects everything. Your energy, your mood, your appetite, your willingness to leave your house, your sleep, even your confidence. Here's a number that should alarm you. 50% of people living in nursing homes suffer from chronic constipation. 70% of them depend on laxatives just to function. 70%. A randomized controlled trial took healthy adults and gave them 7 dates per day for 21 days. The result? Significant increases in stool frequency and measurable improvement in consistency. This wasn't a blog post. This was a controlled study with real participants. But here's what makes soaking the game changer. A scientific review found that the liquid produced from soaking dates works more powerfully as a laxative than the fruit by itself. Why? Because when dates sit in water overnight, the magnesium gets liberated. It dissolves into the water, and magnesium is one of the most effective natural compounds for increasing stool frequency. Your body absorbs it faster in liquid form than from chewing a dry date. 3 mechanisms happening at once. First, the fiber. Dates are 84 to 94% insoluble fiber. That's the kind that pushes everything forward like a broom sweeping a hallway. Second, sorbitol. It's a natural sugar alcohol inside dates that draws water into your intestines, softening everything. Third, beta-glucan. It's a compound that restores the balance of bacteria in your colon. When that balance is off, nothing moves the way it should. This is exactly what happened with William. His gut didn't need a chemical. It needed the right raw materials to remember what it was built to do. But problem number 12 is the one that stole my sleep the night I was researching all of this. And honestly, it scared me. Number 12, memory loss. Brain fog. That feeling where your own mind starts betraying you. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went there? Have you ever searched for a word you've used 1,000 times and it just won't come? That's not just getting older, that's a signal. Studies have found that dates lower something called interleukin-6, or IL-6 for short. Think of IL-6 as a fire alarm that goes off inside your brain when there's inflammation. Except in this case, the alarm itself is causing the damage. High levels of IL-6 have been linked in several studies to a higher risk of Alzheimer's disease. Dates also reduce the buildup of a protein called amyloid beta. In simple terms, that's a kind of plaque that clogs the communication lines between your brain cells. When too much of it accumulates, brain cells start dying. That's how Alzheimer's progresses. An animal study found that subjects who consumed dates regularly showed significantly better memory, better learning ability, and less anxiety-related behavior compared to those who didn't. My friend George used to finish the crossword puzzle in the newspaper every morning in under 10 minutes. By 63, he couldn't remember where he put the newspaper. Brain fog isn't a personality trait. It's a nutritional deficiency your brain is screaming about. I'll tell you something personal. There was a stretch last year where I kept losing my train of thought mid-sentence. Scared the hell out of me. I didn't tell anyone. I just started reading everything I could about what the brain actually needs after 60. That's partly why this section hit me so hard. The antioxidants in dates, flavonoids, carotenoids, phenolic acids, these are the compounds that fight oxidative damage right where it counts, inside your skull. And here's the connection that nobody makes. The next problem is tied directly to your brain. Number 11, insomnia. Waking up at 2 a.m., never getting deep sleep. Your brain repairs itself while you sleep. It clears out waste. It consolidates memories. It rebuilds connections. Without deep sleep, everything I just told you about brain fog gets worse. Every single night you don't sleep well. The damage compounds. Dates contain magnesium. Magnesium calms your nervous system, not like a sleeping pill that knocks you out artificially. Magnesium actually tells your muscles and nerves to relax, genuinely relax. But dates also contain an amino acid called tryptophan. Your body converts tryptophan into serotonin, and serotonin converts into melatonin. That's your natural sleep hormone. So when you eat soaked dates before bed, you're giving your body the exact building blocks it needs to manufacture its own sleep signal. That's not a coincidence. That's why the old doctor told William to take them at night. The timing is part of the treatment. My neighbor Dorothy tried this. She told me she slept 6 straight hours for the first time in 2 years. She said it wasn't drowsy sleep, it was real sleep. The kind where you wake up and actually feel like a human being again. Number 10. A weakened immune system. Getting sick more often and recovering slower. Every winter, the same people end up in the same clinics. And every year, it takes a little longer to bounce back. That's your immune system losing ground. 4 dates give you 40% of your daily copper. Copper isn't a mineral most people think about, but it's essential for producing white blood cells. Those are your soldiers. Without enough copper, your army is understaffed. The antioxidants in dates, the carotenoids and flavonoids, neutralize free radicals before they damage your cells. Think of free radicals as tiny sparks flying around inside your body. If nobody puts them out, they start fires. Those fires are what we call chronic disease. Your immune system doesn't need a boost from a pill. It needs the raw materials to do its job. Dates supply those materials in a form your body actually recognizes. The next problem is one I'll bet you're dealing with right now, and you've been blaming the wrong thing for it. Number 9. Heartburn. That burning sensation that crawls up from your stomach at night, especially after dinner. Most people reach for antacids. And look, if your doctor prescribed them, keep taking them. That's between you and your physician. But here's something worth knowing. Research has shown that long-term use of certain acid-suppressing medications can reduce your body's ability to absorb some important minerals like calcium, magnesium, iron, and B12. The very minerals your body is already running low on after 60. It doesn't mean you stop your medication. It means it's worth having that conversation with your doctor about long-term mineral absorption. Dates are naturally alkaline. Instead of suppressing acid, they help neutralize it. There's a difference. Suppressing means shutting down a system your body needs. Neutralizing means bringing it back into balance. The fiber in dates also helps your stomach empty at a healthier pace. When food sits too long, it ferments. That fermentation creates gas and pressure that pushes acid upward. Moving things along at the right speed prevents the buildup in the first place. My wife used to sleep propped up on 3 pillows trying to avoid the burn. She started eating 2 soaked dates after dinner, not before bed, after dinner. Within a week, she was sleeping flat again. No pillows. No antacids. Number 8. High cholesterol. A randomized controlled trial from 2020 took 60 people with type 2 diabetes and had them eat 3 dates every day for 16 weeks. The results were published in the journal Nutrients. Total cholesterol dropped significantly. HDL, the good cholesterol, went up. And here's the part that matters most. LDL didn't go up. Triglycerides didn't go up. Body weight didn't change. 3 dates. Not a statin, not a prescription. 3 dates. The soluble fiber in dates binds to cholesterol in your digestive tract and escorts it out of your body before it ever reaches your bloodstream. It's a natural filter that works every single time you eat them. Now, this next one is going to sound impossible, but I need you to hear the science before you judge. Number 7. Unstable blood sugar. I know exactly what you're thinking. Dates are 70% sugar. How can they possibly help with blood sugar? It sounds insane, but stay with me. I actually argued with my doctor friend about this one. I said, come on, you can't tell a diabetic to eat something that's 70% sugar. He looked at me and said, you're confusing sugar content with how the body processes it. And then he explained it in a way that finally made sense to me. The glycemic index of dates is 42. That puts them in the low category. For comparison, white bread is around 75. White rice is 73. A banana is 62. Dates are 42. The fiber inside them slows down how fast sugar enters your bloodstream. Instead of a spike, you get a long, gentle curve. That same clinical trial I mentioned, the one with 60 diabetic patients over 16 weeks, found that eating 3 dates daily did not increase their HbA1c. That's the marker doctors use to measure your average blood sugar over 3 months. No increase. In diabetic patients, eating dates every day for 4 months. The fructose in dates gets absorbed slower than glucose. Your liver processes it differently, and the fiber acts like a speed bump, making sure nothing hits your bloodstream too fast. If you're on insulin or diabetes medication, please talk to your doctor before adding anything to your routine. That's not a throwaway line, that matters. But the evidence says 3 dates a day for most people is not the enemy. It might be one of the smartest things you add. The problem coming up next, this one can take a life with no warning whatsoever. Number 6. High blood pressure, the silent killer. It gives you no symptoms, no warning. You feel perfectly fine until you don't, and by then the damage is done. 4 dates contain 696 milligrams of potassium. That's 23% of what you need in an entire day. Potassium directly counters the effect of sodium. Sodium tightens your blood vessels. Potassium relaxes them. It's that straightforward. The Framingham Heart Study, one of the longest-running cardiovascular studies in history, found that higher potassium intake was associated with significantly lower risk of stroke. The National Institutes of Health confirmed that potassium deficiency raises blood pressure and pulls calcium out of your bones at the same time. You don't stop your medication. You give your body what it's missing alongside whatever your doctor prescribed. Potassium from food is safer and better absorbed than potassium from supplements, and dates are one of the richest natural sources available. Number 5, and this is the key that connects everything you've heard so far. Bloating, gas, a gut that feels like it's working against you instead of for you. Your gut isn't just a digestive organ, it's a command center. 70% of your immune system lives there. Your brain is connected to it through something called the vagus nerve. Inflammation starts there, mood is influenced there, nutrient absorption happens there. When your gut is off, everything is off. Dates contain compounds called fructans. Fructans are fermentable fibers that specifically feed beneficial bacteria. The good guys, the ones that guard the lining of your intestinal wall. When that lining gets compromised, partially digested food leaks through and triggers reactions your body was never designed to handle. Bloating, fatigue, brain fog, skin issues, it all connects back to this. Soaking dates makes them easier on your stomach. The water starts breaking them down before you even eat them. For seniors whose digestive systems have slowed down, that pre-digestion is not a small thing. It's the difference between your gut struggling with the food and your gut actually absorbing what it needs. My friend Patricia avoided restaurants for 2 years. The bloating embarrassed her. She'd sit at family dinners and barely eat. 2 weeks of soaked dates every morning. She told me she felt like a different person, not because some miracle happened, because her gut finally had what it needed to do its job. Now, I'm not her doctor. I can't tell you it'll work the same for you. Bodies are different, but I've heard versions of that same story enough times that I stopped thinking it was a coincidence. What comes next is what I call the quiet fire, and it's burning inside most people over 60 right now. Number 4, chronic inflammation. That stiffness in your knees, that ache in your hands every morning, that soreness that never fully goes away. The compounds in dates have been shown to suppress something called NF-kappa B. Think of it as the master switch for inflammation in your body. When that switch is stuck in the on position, your joints hurt, your arteries stiffen, your brain cells deteriorate, your risk of heart disease, diabetes, and dementia all go up. Dates also lower COX-2 and TNF-alpha. Those are the same targets that prescription anti-inflammatory drugs aim for, the same ones. Dates hit them naturally through their polyphenols, flavonoids, and phenolic acids. And here's what most people never realize. Inflammation isn't just about pain. Researchers are finding that chronic low-grade inflammation may play a role in several serious conditions: heart disease, diabetes, cognitive decline, arthritis. The science is still evolving, but the pattern keeps showing up in study after study, and that's what makes it worth paying attention to. A friend of mine, Linda, 69, thought joint pain was just her life now. Her fingers ached so badly she stopped knitting, and knitting was the thing that kept her sane. 2 months of soaked dates every morning. At her next appointment, her doctor asked what she changed. Her inflammatory markers had dropped. The next two are the ones I wish I'd known 20 years ago. Number 3. Weak bones. Osteoporosis. The condition that can turn a simple fall into the end of your independence. After 50, bones break down faster than your body rebuilds them. A broken hip after 65 changes everything. 30% of seniors who fracture a hip never return to living independently. The potassium in dates protects your bones in a way most people don't understand. Your body produces acids from normal metabolism. Those acids leach calcium out of your bones. Potassium neutralizes those acids. It keeps the calcium where it belongs, inside your skeleton. The Framingham Heart Study found that higher potassium intake was associated with significantly greater bone mineral density in elderly men and women. A separate clinical trial showed that potassium supplementation for 2 years improved bone density at the lumbar spine. Dates also deliver magnesium and phosphorus. Both are structural minerals your bones depend on. 4 dates a day give you a meaningful dose of all three. Not from a supplement your body struggles to process. From food it knows how to use. Number 2. Hidden anemia. And this one is far more common than you think. Iron deficiency is surprisingly common in adults over 65. Many people have it, and don't even realize it because the symptoms look just like normal aging: fatigue, weakness, pale skin, cold hands, shortness of breath climbing stairs. Most people assume they're just getting older. They're not. Their blood isn't carrying enough oxygen. Dates contain iron, but more importantly, they contain 40% of your daily copper requirement. Copper is essential for producing red blood cells. Without it, iron can't do its job. Vitamin B6, which dates also deliver, supports the creation of hemoglobin, the protein that carries oxygen through your blood. If you wake up tired even after a full night's sleep, that might not be laziness. It might not be depression. It might be that your blood is running on empty and nobody checked. Number 1, and I saved this for last for a very specific reason. Number 1, a sluggish colon that's working against you instead of for you. This is the one that genuinely unsettled me when I understood what was happening inside the body after 60. Your colon has muscles, and just like every other muscle in your body, they weaken with age. There's a wave-like motion called peristalsis that pushes waste through your intestines. After 60, that motion slows down, transit time gets longer, and when waste material sits inside your colon longer than it should, your body starts reabsorbing water from it. That's how stool becomes hard, dry, and nearly impossible to pass. But it's not just about discomfort. When waste lingers, the bacterial environment in your colon shifts. Harmful bacteria get the upper hand. Bloating increases, energy drops. Even your skin and your mood can be affected because your gut and your brain are connected. The fiber in soak dates helps move things along naturally. The insoluble fiber adds bulk and encourages that wave-like motion to pick up speed. Beta-glucan, a compound found in dates, supports the balance of beneficial bacteria in your colon, helping restore order where things have gotten out of balance. And the water from soaking? It helps hydrate the intestinal lining and soften stool material, making it easier for your body to do what it was designed to do without force and without chemicals. William didn't just have constipation, his entire system was backed up. When his colon started moving again, it wasn't just about bathroom visits. His energy came back, his bloating went down, his mornings felt different, because when your gut finally works the way it should, everything downstream improves. This isn't the most glamorous problem on the list, but it is the one that changes daily life more than almost anything else. The recipe is almost embarrassingly simple. 3 dried dates, medjool if you can find them. But any quality dried date works. Drop them in a glass of room temperature water before bed. Not hot water, room temperature. Let them sit for 8 to 12 hours. In the morning, eat the dates slowly, chew them well, then drink the water, every drop. Wait 30 minutes before eating anything else. If you're diabetic, start with one date and monitor how your body responds. If you have kidney disease, talk to your doctor first because dates are high in potassium. If you're on blood-thinning medication, consult your physician. This information is educational. It's not a replacement for professional medical care. It's a tool to support your body alongside whatever treatment plan you're already on. One mistake almost everyone makes. They try this for 2 days, don't feel anything dramatic, and quit. Your body didn't break down overnight. It's not going to rebuild overnight. The clinical studies measured results at 21 days. Give it time. The bacterial shift in your gut takes days. The mineral levels take weeks to climb. The inflammation markers take longer to drop. I never thought I'd be the guy making videos about dates and digestion. 10 years ago, I would have laughed at myself. But when you watch the people around you struggling, and you find something that actually has science behind it, staying quiet feels worse than being a little embarrassing. Start tonight. 3 dates in a glass of water. Set it on your nightstand. Tomorrow morning, eat them before anything else. Do it for 30 days. Watch what changes. Your sleep, your energy, your digestion, your mornings. I've been getting questions about which natural oils actually work for joint pain after 60. Not the ones that just smell nice. The ones with real evidence. If that's something you want me to break down the same way I just did here, make sure you're around for it. Because what I found in the research is something I think every person over 60 needs to hear.